Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit
What's
in
up,
it.
Rashad?
Yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Out of the federal courthouse. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft. Kelly, you have the latest on this jury note. It sounds like
What didn't say? If Golden State gives up a lot for LeBron, that's going to deplete their depth more. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I think the only team, SSB and I were talking about this last night, the only team that has enough for a LeBron package is Cleveland, ironically. And I don't think Cleveland wants to stop their progress of becoming a young team with a solid foundation, with this identity post LeBron James, the very man himself. You could, you know what I'm saying, win a championship with that team eventually. If you keep knocking on the door, you can win a championship with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if you bring in LeBron James, that kind of ruins and slows down all of that progress. That's what I think. But Cleveland has the most pieces because they both have Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So you can move one of those guys and still have another guy. You can move Darius Garland and still have Donovan Mitchell. You can move DeAndre Hunter and still have, I don't know who else you have, but on the wing, you still probably have a decent guy on the wing, you know? It just is what it is. Jared Allen to the Lakers for Luka is not happening. Hate to tell you, buddy. The Jared Allen would be for LeBron James. LeBron James. Luka ain't getting traded again. Lakers, if the Lakers had to choose one, if LeBron gives them an ultimatum and says choose one, they're going to choose the kid every time. They're going to choose the kid every time. All right, Diddler.
it's like there may be already some infighting inside of that deliberation room.
Well, hi there, Julia. Such an interesting development in the federal courthouse behind me. So it was just around 1 o'clock. There started to be some movement, and we began to hear that there was a juror note. So, of course, when that happens, everyone hurries back inside the courthouse to hear what the note is going to be, what it's going to say. So everyone began to gather. It took about a half hour, a little bit longer for everyone to make their way back into the courtroom, the attorneys, all the parties involved. And then we
100%, Dan. Every team is going young over LeBron James when it comes to LeBron James. That's why I say Cleveland, I feel like they're the only team that could really do it because they have so many two solid players at each position. Now, on the wing, I don't know who you have because Isaac Okoro's gone. You have DeAndre Hunter, but Okoro's gone. Karis LeVert, you traded him for Hunter. Who else do you have at the 3? I don't know.
We heard what the note said. The judge read it aloud. We have a full screen made for you so everyone gets a chance to see exactly what the jury note said. It says, we have a juror number 25, who we are concerned cannot follow your honor's instructions. The foreperson then asked to speak with the judge or that particular juror be interviewed. So what do we know about juror number 25? We know he's male. We know he is a scientist. We know that during the jury selection process that he had told both sides that he had seen that hotel video in which Sean Diddy Combs is seen assaulting Cassie Ventura. This is inside the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. He had said that.
What Dan say? And I'm pausing, by the way, because this is Turner. This is literally a TV broadcast clip on the internet, so got to break it up. Anyways, Mitchell, Garland, Wade, LeBron, and Mobley is a small ball 5 lineup with no big man. Yeah. I was talking about this with a friend. He was talking about Onyeka, and he was like, the Hawks needs a real size. I was like, bro, no, they don't. Like, Onyeka rebounds are better than a lot of the guys that you consider traditional bigs and everything. So this type of logic is the reason why Yusuf Nurkic is still employed by the NBA.
He did see that.
Diddy team didn't handle this well. I do think it's weird that a juror is already saying like, hey, can I get this? I don't know about this. I don't know about
that video, and he also said, Julia, that he had formed an opinion about that particular video. But then he was very clear that he was able to set his opinion aside to be able to go forward and have a fair, impartial look at this entire case. But now we're having a situation where this same juror now, according to the note that was just sent out, is not following those instructions. And so what did the judge end up saying? How did he handle this situation? He sent them back and said, you are supposed to follow the jury instructions. Go back and continue deliberating. So that is where we stand right now, Julia, with that big development here in court. How that's going to proceed, we'll have to wait and see, because if you have a juror that's unwilling to follow instructions this soon in, of course, that's a big disruption. When you have to go through such a long, the jury instructions are huge in this case. And if you have a juror who's unwilling to go through those and participate and really give a thoughtful, deliberate process in regard to deciding a man's fate, that's going to be an issue. We'll have to see if there's any more developments in regard to that. I know we also have a jury full screen. We can just kind of tell you in general more about the jury. So, of course, this is a 12-member juror, as usual, and they have to come up with a unanimous agreement in order to find Sean Diddy Combs guilty of these charges. So we see that here. This is 12 jurors, and we also can kind of go through and tell you a little bit about what that makeup is when we have the jury here. So we have 8 men on the jury. So there are 8 men on the jury. There are 4 women on the jury. Of course, this particular juror we're talking about is a man. This is juror number 25 that we were talking about earlier. We also have a further makeup that we can share with our viewers, in which we can tell you a little bit more about the racial makeup of the jury pool as well. 4 women of color. So there are 4 women of color on the jury. Also 2 men of color on the jury, and 6 white men, excuse me. So that gives you a little idea of who is deciding this case. The alternates were released this morning. But Julia, just such a major development so quickly in. Obviously, as you know from covering all these trials all over the country, as you have for years, when you hear a jury note, it gets pretty exciting, and everyone wants to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, and a note like this, Kelly, this is huge. I mean, you mentioned the alternates got sent away. We may have to call them back in order to replace one of these jurors if it comes to that. I know you're going to keep us updated. Thank you so much for that report from outside of the federal courthouse, Kelly Craft.
Interesting, bro. I want to see if there's another video on this, just to make sure. Nah, I need to check Lauren's page, bro. Shout out to Lauren holding us down this whole trial. I'll give it up for Lauren Collin, bro. The Diddy reporter, my Diddy goat. She was on with Act. Crazy. Act had the hand around her waist. I think she is a wife, bro. That is insane. No, I don't see no ring on her arm. But AK kind of wild for the pose. Yeah, she ain't doing it.
Hi everyone, it's day 32, I believe. The United States versus Sean Combs. Whew, really quickly, the jury got all of their instructions this morning, and the case is officially in the jury's hands. So they voted on a 4-person, and this was around 11:48 a.m. And the jury split around 11:30 a.m. So by 11:48, they decided that the 4-person would be juror number 5, and he's a 31-year-old white male investment analyst from Connecticut, and then we were called back in because another note was given to the judge, and what's going on is a little interesting. The judge read the note, and it said, we have juror number 25 who can't seem to follow Your Honor's instructions. Now, what does that mean? We're not so sure. They need more information. However, they are a little bit nervous, and when I say they, I mean the court, the defense, the government. They don't want to know any of the nature of maybe which way this person is thinking, it's very vague, but they kind of want to keep it that way. So the government proposed, please explain the nature of why you can't follow the the instructions? Is it lack of willingness? Is it lack of understanding? And then they had a whole bunch of legal jargon there, and the defense wanted it to be just a lot more simple, saying, hey, you just started, you know, we don't want to lay out all these possibilities, just kind of work through it until you can't. And I'm paraphrasing here, but the judge gave both sides just a minute to try to draft something up, and the government drafted something, and again, it was very long-winded. I couldn't even get all of it on my notes, but either way, the defense was like, no, we don't want that. And the judge was kind of like, okay, you guys, I'm gonna give you 10 minutes to work it out yourselves. Come back to me with a proposal here, and then we'll send the note back to the jury and they can continue their deliberations. So I am actually going to run, I'm gonna run to DJ Academics, to his stream. So I'm gonna go on with him and discuss the case and be on verdict watch with him, which will be really fun. So, but on the way there, I will update everybody via Twitter or YouTube with the judge's decision on how this note should come back. Sorry, I have gum in my mouth. That's why it sounded weird. All right, so I will be with you for this week sporadically for the verdict watch when I have news and information.
All right, so what y'all think, man?
And really quickly, juror number 25, he is also a white male, age 51. He has a PhD, and he, I wrote down he liked opera and science and classical music. So again, apparently.
You keep on running, girl. Those glasses are sharp on you, ma'am. On madam. So what y'all think, man? Like, when do y'all think we're gonna reach a verdict? You think it's gonna be today? If today was Monday, I think probably they have to reach one by Friday, right? Like you would think so, because they probably want to get it done before the 4th of July, right? And the 4th of July is Friday, so I think they will want to get it done by Thursday. I think we get a verdict in by Thursday, bro. It's about to get real, man.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.